Malcolm stopped in the middle of the sidewalk, not caring that he was in the way. He turned his ear to the nearby alleyway, sure of what he'd just heard. "They're crying," an old woman said while walking by him. "But you don't care, do you?" Malcolm hurried down the alley and paused. The high-pitched meowing of tiny kittens was coming from a zipped-up duffel. He opened the bag and beheld 8 pairs of little blue eyes staring back. "Poor babies," Malcolm said. "Some evil person put you in here? That's okay. They'll get theirs." Malcolm's nose caught the smell of death. He looked closer and saw that there were 9 kittens. One of them, the only white one in a litter of solid black, was dead. Malcolm put the duffel bag down and found a cardboard box that hadn't been cut up. He picked up each kitten and placed them gently in the box. "I can't keep you," he said. "I'll see if the shelter can take you." Malcolm sat in his car in the parking lot of the local animal shelter. He watched the young woman leave with a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel on a leash. The dog ran circles around her, causing both of them to get tangled up in the lead. Malcolm snorted and got out. He dragged his box of kittens out with him. "Time to go, babies." Malcolm was in and out of the shelter in less than 10 minutes. He was careful not to mention the dead one. After a quick stop at a Chinese restaurant, Malcolm headed home. He opened a fortune cookie and read the fortune while stopped at a red light. "9 is not your number," Malcolm said aloud. He sped off when the light turned green and tossed the paper out of the window. Malcolm was forced to slow down when traffic in front of him came to a halt. A car accident had shut down 3 of 5 lanes. For no reason at all, Malcolm counted the police cars on the scene. There were 8. Traffic moved along enough for Malcolm to change lanes. A siren blared and lights flashed as another squad car arrived. Malcolm watched in his rearview mirror as a semi failed to slow down in time and slammed into the 9th cop car. The car was crushed into the concrete barrier like an aluminum can. "Unfortunate," Malcolm said. "Unlucky." Malcolm arrived at his home away from home 40 minutes later. His primary residence was in the city, around normal people. Normal was left to the skyscrapers and crowded sidewalks when Malcolm crossed over the county line. Not even a full hour separated the mundane from the bizarre. Malcolm loved bizarre. The rural property that he owned stayed in pristine condition without ever being cleaned. As a test, Malcolm had tracked mud through the living room intentionally. When the sun came up, the hard wood and rug were clean. The floor, walls, ceiling, and included furniture could not stay sullied. Nothing could stain anything on the main level, the second story, the attic, or basement. Malcolm gobbled up his food way too fast and washed it down with 2 beers from the refrigerator. He went down to the basement, which had white walls and a white floor. Hanging on the wall were pencil sketches of 8 different women. They had been drawn without hands, and their faces were carved off. Sitting nude and on a bucket in the corner, the subject of sketch 9 glared at Malcolm. "You look awake," Malcolm said. "I thought you would have passed out by now." Malcolm saw that the oversized water bottle taped to the wall was still full. It was fixed so that his victim could drink from it with her hands bound. "So what's going on?" Malcolm said. "There's no way you survived for a week with no water, but the jug is full. Somebody else been here? Somebody know you're here?" Victim 9 smiled. "Of course they know. They always know." Malcolm kneeled on the floor in front of 9. "They? Do they know who I am? What I can do?" "Show them," she said. "Stop talking and show them." Malcolm stood up and touched Victim 9's exposed chest with the tip of his index finger. A fist-sized hole opened and her heart fell out. He watched as all the blood in her body poured out and splattered everywhere. Victim 9's body went limp, but her eyes remained wide open. Malcolm removed Nine's wrists from the wall-mounted manacles. Instead of falling to the floor, she stood right up. Malcolm backed up too quickly and slipped in the massive blood puddle. Victim number nine's blood began to bubble. Malcolm struggled to get to his feet as the blood gathered, coagulated, and formed itself into nine identical little girls. They surrounded him. "We are nine," they sang in unison. "We are your lucky number." One of them vomited a white kitten onto Malcolm's chest. The kitten scratched his face up and melted into nothing. The girl next to her imitated a police car siren. Malcolm still couldn't get on his feet. Even with the puddle gone, he slipped and slid in every direction. It was too late anyway. The girls ripped off his ears, his fingers, and his nose. They tore and pulled flesh from bone until there was nothing left. When they were done, victim number nine's chest hole opened wider. The girls lined up, single file, and climbed back into her chest, where they belonged. Did you enjoy the story, Lucky Victim Number 9? I hope so. There are more to come.